Hi, this is Mr. Beckstrom, and today I want to take a look at section A6, and we're going to do an absolute value equation. So we start off with this. The absolute value of x squared minus 49 is equal to 0. Now, what we know about absolute values is that it takes whatever value is in there and it makes it positive. So if we already have a positive value in there, then it'll keep it positive. But if we end up getting a negative value in that absolute value, then it will turn it positive. So how do we do it something like this? Well, when we have an equation inside an absolute value like we do here, first of all, we want to make sure that the absolute value is by itself on one side, which it is. We don't have to do any manipulation or add anything back and forth. And once we do that, we can take this equation and we can turn it into two equations. One where it's just equal to whatever's on the right, and then the second one where it's equal to the negative of whatever's on the right. So we can open this up here, and what we can do is we can make this into two different equations, dropping the absolute value. We can only do this when we have the absolute value by itself on one side of the equation. So we get x squared minus 49 is equal to 0, and then we also get the equation x squared minus 49 is equal to negative 0. Now, if we are astute students, we will recognize very quickly that 0 and negative 0 are the same exact value, so we don't have to do both of these equations because we would just get redundant answers. So let's just do the first one here. So if we do x squared minus 49 is equal to 0. We can solve that. This here is a difference of squares. So we can write this as x plus 49, or excuse me, x plus 7 times x minus 7. And that is equal to 0. So we can set both of these factors equal to 0 individually, and we'll end up getting x is equal to negative 7 and positive 7. Now there was an equally valid way to solve this. From this point here, I could have also added 49 to both sides and then taken the square root. And when you take the square root, you'll get plus or minus the square root of 49, which is plus 7 and minus 7. So I would have gotten the same answers. Maybe even slightly easier if I would have gone that method. But this is fine here. These are our solutions. If I put them back in the original equation, sure enough, I'll get 0 is equal to 0 for both of those. And that's it. Now, if this ended up being a non-zero value on the right, then we would have had two different equations to solve, and we would have checked all of those answers to make sure that they work in our original equation. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, and have a great rest of your week.